Hello everyone, welcome back to Digital Tech Solutions. Now let's look at the types of cyber attacks. So let's look at what is a cyber attack. A cyber attack is an exploitation of computer systems and networks. So it uses a malicious code to alter computer code, logic, or data and lead to cyber crimes such as information and identity theft. So we have two types of cyber attacks. We have the web-based attack and we have the system-based attack. So now let's look at web-based attacks. So web-based attacks, you know, these are attacks which occur on a website or a web application. So these are the kinds of attacks. We have the injection attack. So the injection attack, so it is an attack in which some data will be injected into a web application to manipulate the application and then fetch the required information. So we can have SQL injection, we can have code injection, we can have the log injection, the XML injection as an example of an injection attack. Now looking at DNS spoofing, so it is a type of computer security hacking whereby a data is introduced into a DNS resolver's cache, which causes the name server to return an incorrect IP address, diverting traffic to the attacker's computer or any other computer. So the DNS spoofing attack can go on for a very long period of time without even detecting, and then it can cause serious issues. Looking at the session hijacking, so for session hijacking, that one, it's a security attack which occurs on a user session over a protected network. Web applications, they create cookies to store the state and user session. Okay, so by stealing these cookies, an attacker can have access to all of the user data. Now, looking at phishing and brute force, which is also under the web-based attack, let's look at what is brute force. So, brute force is a type of attack which uses a trial and error method. So, it generates a large number of guesses and validates them to obtain actual data like the user password and personal identification numbers. The attacker may be used by or this kind of uh, brute force attack may be used by criminals to crack encrypted data or by security analysts to test an organization network's security. Now let's look at phishing. Okay, so with phishing attacks, it is used to steal, sensitive informations like the user login credentials and credit card numbers. So this often occurs when an attacker is masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communication. Alright, so now let's look at denial of service attack, which is also under the web-based. So denial of service attack, it's meant to make a server or a network resource unavailable to the user. So it accomplishes this by flooding the target with traffic or sending it information that triggers a crash. So probably it uses the single system and then the single internet connection to attack a server, and it can be classified into uh, these kind of layers, or let me say this kind of attacks. So we have the application layer which crashes the web server. We have the protocol attacks which consumes server resources, and we have the volume based attacks which saturates bandwidth. Now let's look at dictionary attacks. So with dictionary attacks, it's stored, it's an attack that has a lot or has a list of commonly used passwords and then validates them to get the original password. Now let's look at the URL, the URL interpretation. So it is also a type of an attack that you can change a certain part of a URL, and then one can make a web server to deliver web pages for which he is not authorized to browse. Let's look at the file inclusion attacks. So file inclusion attack is also a type of an attack that allows an attacker to access unauthorized or essential files which is available on the web server, or to execute malicious files on the web server by making use of the include functionality. Looking at man in the middle, that is the last attack under web-based threats. So man in the middle allows an attacker to interpret the connection between the client and the server and acts as a bridge between them. So with this, an attacker will be able to read, will be able to insert, will be able to modify, and then modify data in the intercepted connection. Now looking at the second type of cyber attack, which is the system-based attack, or we can say the malware. So uh, yes, so system-based attacks, they are attacks which are intended to compromise a computer or a computer network. So we have the virus. So the virus is a type of malicious software program that spread throughout the computer files without the knowledge of a user. We have the worm. So the worm is also a malware whose primary function is to replicate itself to spread or to spread uninfected computers. Okay, so it works the same as a virus, but worms often generate from email attachments that appear to be from a trusted sender. Now let's look at the Trojan horse. So Trojan horse is also a malicious program that occurs unexpected changes to computer setting and then unusual activity even when the computer should be idle. So with this, it misleads the user of its true intent. So this one, it appears to be a normal application, but then when you open it or when it's being executed, some malicious code will run in the background. Now looking at the fourth one, we have the backdoors. So with backdoors, it's a method that bypasses the normal authentication process. A developer may create a backdoor so that an application or operating system can be accessed for troubleshooting or other purposes. Looking at bots. So bots is an automated process that interacts with other network services. So some bots program they run automatically while others only execute commands when they receive specific input. So we have some common examples of programs of bots programs. That is the crawler, we have the chat room bots, and then the malicious bots. So we can also add the bot network, which is a multiple compromise system that controls remotely, which is also used for coordinated attacks. So this is the end of the cyber attacks, types of cyber attacks. And in our next video, we're going to look at the 7 layers of cyber security. So subscribe, like this video, share. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much.